106.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's we're knocking on summer's door, Robin. Let's see, what is today? The 15th? So summertime starts like in a week or so, right?
Yeah.
And this is the time of year I used to always plan for traveling. I used to always go in July. You know why?
Because of Alex's birthday.
Well, because of his birthday, but also that's when the ratings is down on the radio.
So
They don't do all that screening stuff, so you get away.
Sneak away.
So that way, because I didn't want any substitute to get better marks than me. So
I don't blame. Hey, I like that.
Stephanie Oswald is on the phone. She's been with us before. She is the travel girl. She's an Emmy award-winning journalist. She's an award-winning international travel expert, and she's the editor-in-chief of Travel Girl magazine. And you've probably seen her on the Weather Channel, on CNN, etc. So she's here with us today to talk to us about the 3 Ds: deals, discounts, and destinations. Stephanie, thank you for wading through all that. Good morning.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And you know, guys, I'm super excited because summer is about to officially begin. Plus, there's another big date this month. Travel Girl magazine officially turns 15 years old.
Oh my gosh.
26. So, yeah, incredible. So we're celebrating.
Do you remember when you were first starting it?
I do. And it was right after 9/11. And people said we were crazy. And here we are 15 years later, and I'm more inspired than ever before to share my insider tips and get people excited to travel, because I still believe it's the greatest educator, and it will build tolerance and, help us all love each other and have a better life, because travel is such a great way to just live your life.
Yeah. Were you a traveler before the magazine?
I was the CNN's travel correspondent for 13 years.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Wow. That's exciting. Yeah.
Very
Wait a minute. 15 years ago, you said you started, so you were only 15 years old.
Thank you. You're very sweet. Well, yeah, it's very, and a real shock to us on a sad note. Losing Anthony Bourdain was such a
I was just thinking about him, yeah.
And for me, I used to tell people, I was the travel girl at CNN before Anthony Bourdain came along, and he just was so inspirational as well, and just carried that torch to remind people how important it is to meet with the locals and try the different foods. So, we've got to keep that inspiration going, and it's been so exciting to see the roller coaster of travel over the last 15 years. But people are really, they're going again, and it's wonderful.
I want to ask you, the first D is deals, and we have a guy who comes in here once a month or so. He's with one of the colleges, and he is always posting on Facebook that he's someplace. He's in Paris this week. He's even been to Chernobyl. He's always flying, and he uses, what do you call them again?
Frequent flyer miles.
Frequent flyer miles, yeah, or rewards point miles or something like that. Is that part of what you have to tell us about? I want to know how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, flash sales is on our list of things to talk about. And I'll tell you, people think it's always about money, but it's not. Sometimes it's about miles. And that's something the airlines are doing. We've seen a huge increase in it this year in particular. For example, I'm a frequent flyer with Delta, and I get emails from them that say, hey, flash sale, do you want to travel to Australia or Europe or Alaska?
Wow.
And they're not talking about deals for dollars. I mean, sometimes it is, but more often we're seeing deals for miles. So instead of getting one ticket for 50,000 miles, you can get 2 tickets for 50,000 miles. Or instead of costing you 30,000 miles to go domestic, it's going to cost you 11,000. So some really, really big discounts as far as being able to use your miles and get more tickets for those miles.
Well, how do you get the miles? How do you get your 11,000 miles? Yes.
Right. Now that's a great question too. It's not just about doing the actual traveling, but it's also about spending, having a credit card that has the perks that you want. If you use a credit card and you don't have it tied to reward points at a hotel or an airline, then you're crazy, because every time you spend a dollar you could be getting points toward travel. And there are some cards out
So I'm going to do that.
you really should. I mean, any credit card you have can be linked to getting points for travel, and that's just really important.
Is it worth more than money? Like right now, my rewards are dollars. So is the travel actually worth more?
Well, it depends on you. It depends on what your priorities are. Because to me, I mean, I do have multiple cards, and one of them is, I understand what you're saying. Sometimes you can get like a percentage of you get cash back for your spending, right? Okay, so that's important. But the other issue is when you have a card that's tied into airline. For example, I have an American Express that has Delta miles attached to it. And because of that, when I reach a certain threshold, you get bonus miles. So that's the thing. It's kind of like when you have money, you make money. You when you have miles, you make more miles. You get more miles. And another way, something else to remember: if you have a problem on a trip, if you have, whether it's lost luggage or you didn't get the service that you expected to get, don't just suck it up and move on. Call the airline and complain. And a lot of times, and I'm not saying complain about nothing, but if you had a serious beef, make sure you call and let them know about it, because they want you to be happy, and a lot of times they will reward you or try to make you feel better by giving you points.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's a good tip. Okay. All right. Let's see. The other next D is discounts. That's kind of the same thing, deals and discounts, right?
Well, it depends, because deals, one other deal I wanted to tell you about, hotels across the United States. TripAdvisor did some research, and they found that there are 10 cities in the U.S. where booking within 1 month of your summer trip can save you up to 40%. And we're talking about Miami, Philadelphia, New Orleans, San Francisco, Las Vegas. Not we're not talking about, Podunk, Idaho. We're talking about New York City, Boston.
What's wrong with Podunk?
Save money.
Well, if you like to look at a mountain all afternoon, yeah, there you go.
So you can save up to 40% by booking within 4 weeks of your trip, and that's great news for last-minute planners.
Oh, I didn't hear Orlando in that.
Yes, she did. She said Orlando.
She said Orlando?
No, Orlando was not on that list. I'm just looking. Actually, it is. Actually, it is on that list. So
I heard you say
Diego.
Yeah, she said Florida, but it wasn't Orlando. I was listening.
I did say Miami, but you know what? Yeah, I'm just checking over the list. It wasn't in the top 10. But
This girl's sharp. I'll tell you what.
What's interesting about Orlando is because even though we live here, sometimes we can we can take advantage of the specials that everybody else is using, and have a staycation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to do that. Places, and I know we've talked about TravelZoo before. A lot of these search engines will have local deals as well. So sometimes you show your license and you can get a deal. You know what? It's funny. I also was just reading about, this is funny. If you like bagels, this is a cool thing. Einstein Brothers Bagels has this program. It's Flavors Across America. And what they're doing, they did it for Memorial Day, and they're also doing it for 4th of July weekend and Labor Day weekend, where if you want to go to your bagel retailer for a staycation, you can go to to Einstein Brothers, show your license. You're going to show that you live there, and they're going to give you 2 for 1.
Oh, great.
Wow. That's great.
I get one off on their new menu. They've got all these different cheesy mac and crispy chicken tater breakfast, all these different types of bagels.
Such a deal. I like it.
When a person is booking for a flight, and it's not just for themselves, but they book for the whole family, do they get those points and rewards on their own credit card, or does each person with the name get their own points?
I love that question. Okay, so here's the fun part. If you're the travel girl in your family, Robin, then what you do, here's what I do. I buy everyone's ticket with my credit card, so then I get the points for the spending, but then I also make sure, because other people in my family think, we're never going to have enough miles for a trip. Well, guess what? My kids are 9 and 11, and I just checked their balances, and they both have over 50,000 miles.
Oh, my gosh.
I easily get them Yeah, and this because I've been booking their trips and making sure that the frequent flyer mile was in there since they were born, since they were 2 years old, and we had to buy tickets for them. So even whether it's your parents, your uncles and aunts, your kids, make sure everyone has a frequent flyer account. Put that number in there whenever you book a ticket, so they'll get the miles for the actual flight, for the actual miles flown, but you'll get the money, you'll get the miles for the money spent.
Stephanie, it's only 250,000 miles to the moon. Do you think if I saved up for and long enough that Elon Musk would let me use them on that little thing he's doing?
No, I don't. I don't at all. And I will tell you because we just had a story. One of the stories we had in Travel Girl magazine, we were talking about the fact that they're going to have a hotel on the moon, which is like totally cool, but it's going to cost a fortune. And yeah, it's just that I think will happen in our lifetime.
Oh yeah, right.
Can you imagine the diving board experience though? Jumping into the pool. I mean, you'll be able to jump across the whole pool.
What's going to keep the water in the pool, Larry?
So how do we know, like if we look at our credit cards, where do we go to check to see if the credit card is registered, and how do we register the card?
Robin's keeping us on track.
Well, first thing I would do is actually
do this.
Because most banks that issue these credit cards have banks probably have dozens and dozens of options. So what I would do is find whatever credit card you use the most, call their customer service line, tell them, hey, you know what, I really like your card. I want to start earning some reward points, and I'd like to know what my options are for hotel or airline. And they'll tell you what the deal is. And if they're not, if they don't offer something that you really want, every time you're on a flight, or at least I can tell you, I know every time I'm on a flight, and again, most of the time I am on Delta, but anytime I fly another airline, they always say in their speech, oh, by the way, you can earn extra miles today if you sign up for this credit card. So it's something to consider. Don't just say, oh, I don't want to fill out another form, but consider it, because also when you sign up, you can usually get an extra 60,000 miles.
That's amazing.
Take advantage of that.
Oh my gosh. All I want to do is go to New York every now and then.
Yeah, that was my question. You're saying they're giving you extra 50,000 miles here and 50,000. What is the average, let's say, from Orlando to New York, as I mentioned New York? Do you happen to know what's the average mileage that would take to get a ticket? How many thousands of miles do you need to get a ticket?
Good question.
Well, the average it's usually like 25,000 miles for a ticket. Sounds like a lot, but again, when they have these flash sales, sometimes it goes down a lot lower. Sometimes domestic tickets are 12,000 miles. Sometimes you can just use miles to get a discount. So, for example, you want to pay for your ticket, but you want to get it $100 off. So you use 10,000 miles to get $100 off.
Wow.
For example, recently, again, I had some issues with a flight, and it was a big problem. I called and complained. I got 25,000 miles. I used those miles the next week to book my son on a trip.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can definitely, the more you plan ahead. My mother and I are going to Israel in October.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow.
So 50,000 miles. What was that? What would that equal in money for a ticket? I mean,
roughly. Roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
If you wanted to get a discount, they say 10,000 miles is $100. But, for example, those tickets to Israel, I paid 50,000 miles each, and they were over $1,000 tickets. So that's a huge.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, I can tell you one example. The guy who I was referring to earlier, Mike Fallon, for those local people, he posted on Facebook that for $35 he flew to South Korea.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? That's like a $6,000 trip or something.
Right. Well, he must have had a lot of miles.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love hearing stories like that.
So if you book a trip and then you pay with it with your miles, are you still eligible to get miles from that trip since you didn't pay any money?
No. Great question. No, you are not.
There you go.
So that's bad news.
That's double dipping.
Yeah.
There's no double dipping. Exactly. But you still get your benefits if you're an elite flyer. So, for example, my mother and I have been upgraded to Comfort Plus, already.
Oh,
Comfort Plus.
October.
That even sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Not first class, but we'll take it,
Oh, my.
So when you go to Israel, what are the accommodations like? And forgive me for being ignorant about that, but I mean, it looks nice.
No problem. Oh, it's going to be a pilgrimage. It's through my church, and they are doing all kinds of. It starts at a hotel in Tel Aviv, and then we're going to stay at some different. There some of them are boutique hotels, but they're all solid brands. And I'll tell you, that's one of my tips too. If you're traveling someplace you've never been before, staying with a brand that you know can add a layer of comfort, just because it's familiar. And I tend to avoid the cookie cutter hotels, but in general, if it's a first time destination in a place that you're a little unsure of, then it's always nice to have that familiar. Also, loyalty pays off, because if it's a place you've stayed at before, you've probably got a rewards. Hopefully you listen to me and you've got a rewards account, and you'll get more points for staying at that repeat hotel.
Oh, you also suggest to bring your own coffee or wine or water with you. Can you travel with liquids on a plane?
Well, you can if you pack them in your checked baggage, but I'm not talking about doing that. That's more for a road trip in the U.S.
Oh.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay.
But also if you're going overseas, say you're staying in a villa in Italy, or even an Airbnb in the London countryside, English countryside, you can go to the market and go to the local store instead of spending your money in a hotel. Like we were in Prague and we stayed at the Hilton, but I didn't eat at the hotel. We went to local places because you're going to spend less money and get a better meal most of the time. I mean, sometimes the hotel restaurants can be great, but in general, you're going to be paying tourist prices if you're eating at the hotel.
I'm so easy to please. I love all hotel food. I get the bagels and the coffee all the time. Stephanie, is Kathy Ireland on the cover of the new magazine?
She is, yeah. Do you have it in front of you?
No, I'm looking at your website. Wow.
Okay.
I haven't seen her in so long. She still looks really good, doesn't she, Robin?
She does. She looks
Amazing.
great.
Have you ever seen Alicia's fashions, by the way, your publicist? Have you ever seen her work?
They're phenomenal.
I know.
They're fantastic.
So you should get
Carry
Kathy Ireland to wear the coat, hold the bag, and then it'll give Alicia a little boost.
That's right.
That would be lovely. I can work on that.
Smart answer. Yeah.
You talk about group coupon clubs. What are those?
Well, for example, Groupon, they have a whole travel section. So you can get living social. I mean, this is, again, an impact of social media on travel. That's something that we didn't have 15 years ago when Travel Girl magazine started. Now, if you want to get those flash sales, you better be following those airlines and the attractions on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. Sometimes those flash sales will come across that way. And sometimes it's just a matter of, doing your research. But places like Groupon and Living Social, there's a lot of them out there, but they have complete travel sections. So it'll say, here's my getaways. Travel Zoo is great. They always send out an email every week with their top 10.
Travel Zoo?
Social media in general.
Did you say Travel Zoo?
Travel Zoo.
Huh.
Yeah,
It's a new one.
Park basement. Oh, no, it's not. It's been around. It's
No,
Travel Zoo.
to me.
Yeah.
I should have finished that sentence. To me. Yes.
Definitely sign up. And also just even Facebook and Instagram. If you are following an attraction, you want to go there, and you are following them on social media, you're going to see the first about those flash sales.
There's an airline here in South Florida just had a news story today, Spirit Airlines, that they're revamping and everything. If you get travel miles from one airline, can you do a lateral move and move them over to another airline if they go defunct or if they're on hiatus for any reason?
No, you can't. And I will definitely have to look up that story. I will tell you, I am not a big fan of nickel and diming. I'm not a big fan of nickel and diming, and that is my biggest pet peeve of Spirit. I know a lot of people want to go for that bargain basement.
Right, yeah.
I don't like an airline where I'm going to have to pay to bring on my carry-on, or pay for a blanket, or pay for. I mean, every time you turn around, you're paying another
another fee.
$20.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of sticking with the bigger
Stephanie,
airline.
did you go to the royal wedding?
You know, I wish.
Oh,
I know it
you
looks like I did.
I'm just
but I
wondering.
did. I watched it, and I loved it.
I'm just looking at the website. You have a bunch of cups on here. I didn't know if you went and got souvenirs.
Oh, yes. Well, we did a story on London Calling and the ways that you could shop and travel like a local. I mean, like a royal, and be a local in the royal area. Because obviously London, huge year for London with the royal wedding. And you know, I was actually in London for Princess Diana's funeral. I was there covering it for CNN.
Oh, my God.
My.
So it was very, it was poignant to see him get married.
Yeah.
You know, because we have such memories of Diana's funeral and those little boys and.
Yeah, right. So the website I went to where I saw the cups and where I saw the cover of the magazine was travelgirlinc.com. Are all of these tips also on the website?
Some of them are, and some of them you need to follow me on Twitter at TravelGirlSteph.
Oh, really?
Oh, write that down, Robin, for me.
Yeah.
Traveler Girl what?
TravelGirlSteph. TravelGirl STEPH. That's my personal Twitter account. We also have Travel Girl Mag. That's also on Twitter. But if you follow me, you'll probably see the link to the magazine as well. But yeah, all kinds of deals out there. And you know, we talked a lot about Europe, but there are some domestic deals to be had as well. So
The river boats and all that in the United States that I see, there's a lot of travel people doing that now. That's a new trend that I've heard about.
Well, it's funny you mention that because I just did my first river cruise in Europe. I just was on the Danube with Viking cruises, and that was fabulous.
Oh my God!
And I
That's the one I want to do. Yeah,
that's a little different than the Mississippi.
That's on my wish list. Yeah. I just followed you on Twitter. I just hit the little thing there.
Oh my God! What about? I'm kind of into amusement parks, and you get the best deals through them, or do you get you have deals through like you say through frequent flyers? You got frequent flyer miles. Is there anything for amusement parks, something like that?
That's a great question. Well, when it comes to amusement parks and attractions like water parks, it's great to go to their main website because a lot of times they will offer printable coupons, or they'll let you know again about flash sales. They're always going to send you a note that says, please sign up for our deals. And you think to yourself, oh, I don't want spam. But the trick there is to create an email account specifically for travel, so that when you're ready to make your trip planning, you can go to that inbox and look through all the deals. That way you don't get overwhelmed with it in your work email or your personal email. So just have it all sent there. And you can usually save a lot of money by going on their websites and looking for those deals. Also, the tourism board websites. And, you know, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, one of the places that I love, they have a great website. I use it as an example all the time when I'm talking about tourism boards because it's very organized and it will give you all kinds of deals. And, you know, there are some water parks there. They've got a sky wheel.
Finally, a place I've been that you've been. Finally.
Hey, if you've been there, then you know it is beautiful, and they're a perfect destination to talk about for summer because they have deals specifically for June and July. It's called Myrtle Beach Days, and they've got a list on their website that will tell you all these places. And some of them started June 1st, but some of them start today. So today's a great day to go there. And it's visitmyrtlebeach.com. You can see sometimes it's 20% off. Some of the hotels it's 40% off. One of my favorites, Island Vista, is just this beautiful, beautiful accommodations, and they are offering travelers can book a 3-bedroom suite for the price of a 2-bedroom suite.
Wow.
For a family traveling, you know?
Stephanie, always good to talk to you, Stephanie. Thank you for being on the air with us. And again, the website is travelgirlinc.com. Thank you, Stephanie. Have a great summer.
Thanks for having me, guys, and take care. Safe travel.
Thank you. Alicia, if you're listening, thank you. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Menopause the Musical, the off-Broadway parody hit that will have you cheering at your seat and dancing in the aisles. It's impossible not to laugh. The New York Times. It's hilarious. Go see it. The View. Women need this. The Today Show. Featuring Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley. June 27th to July 1st. Get tickets now at strasscenter.org. You don't want to miss this.
I'm having a hot flash.
Here is your one-minute news brief from the source, WOCA. The FBI is investigating an envelope with a suspicious substance delivered to Congressman Ted Yoho's office. Gainesville's hazmat team later confirmed it was not toxic. A roller coaster at Daytona Beach Boardwalk derailed last night. Fire rescue crews rescued 10 people. 6 people were transported to a hospital. 2 of those people fell 34 feet. 3 people were hospitalized after being struck by lightning in New Smyrna Beach yesterday evening. Rescue crews recovered the body of a 46-year-old man from Lake Dora yesterday. Florida's citrus growers are blaming Hurricane Irma for one of their worst seasons in decades. Florida's orange production dropped nearly 35%. And Universal Orlando will have a new nighttime show this summer that celebrates the movies that inspired its attractions. The show will take place around the lagoon and feature panoramic water screens, pyrotechnics, and more than 120 dancing fountains. And that is your news brief from the source.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com. Insurance needs got you worried? Clifford Insurance has you covered with over 25 premium carriers. Family owned and operated with 200 years plus of combined experience. Call them today, 352-245-5455. Clifford Insurance has the expertise you and your family deserves.
Give me, Alicia Clifford, a call today for a free quote at 352-245-5455.
You're thinking about selling your home, but where do you start? Easy. Call Angie at 352-361-8359. Angie works with you to get your home sold. Angie is more than just an agent with Roberts Real Estate. She's a pro with heart. Call her at 352-361-8359, and you will know you have the right person.
I'm Angie Umpleby, and I'm looking forward to working with you when you call me at 352-361-8359. That's 352-361-8359.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
You know how frogs are so hoppy? It's because they don't smoke or have COPD, otherwise they would be flip-floppy. If you want to quit smoking to prevent yourself from croaking, come to A Better You for a good acupuncture poking. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, with A Better You Healthcare to stop smoking today at 352-615-5566. 352-615-5566.
There are only a few things in life that you can be certain will always be around. Death, taxes, the pursuit of happiness, and computers. As they continue to advance at an epic pace, the one absolute